the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Monday, November 10th. We've got Monday Night Football tonight, big one, Packers and the Eagles, but, our friends might be a no-show here on Monday night, but we'll still cover the game here on the Morning Steam. Eagles, Packers, a game so big, the best fans and rivals don't want to face off on Monday night, but that's okay. We'll have a preview of that big game here tonight. Eagles and Packers, practically a toss-up. Get your picks ready for me here in the chat. And hey, they didn't want to have me going off on Sunday night either with my Chargers here and get into the action here with you guys and talk about the games from yesterday. What a day of football. What a night of football. They didn't want to have a game. They didn't want to see me celebrating with the Chargers last night. I know I was on the Steelers, but at least the Chargers won 25-10. Should have saw it coming. The defense is playing pretty good right now for the Chargers, and if they can do that against a pretty mediocre offense in the Steelers, maybe the Chargers will be able to make it to the playoffs still and maybe even get a win out of it with a defense like that. Of course, Justin Herbert survived 5 more sacks. He almost died out there. Ladd McConkey, big star again, 4 receptions, 107 yards with a touchdown, and Dicker with a 59-yard field goal from Beverly Hills as the Chargers defense delivered 3 sacks of their own, 3 takeaways, and covered the spread once again. And at 7 of the last 10 they've covered at home at SoFi, but Pittsburgh couldn't generate much offense. They managed just 71 first-half yards, going 2-11 on third down. The other afternoon feature yesterday, Rams over the Niners, 42-26. The Rams piled up 400 yards of total offense to beat the Niners. Stafford, 4 TDs, becoming only the 9th quarterback in history with 400-plus career touchdown passes. LA scored on its first 3 drives of the game because the Niners defense is having some problems with all these injuries right now. And now the door opens a little bit to bring back Brock Purdy, who's probably ready to go the last 2 games, but with Mac playing so well, you really weren't going to get him out of there. Still played well on 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but San Francisco just couldn't keep up because of the defense. So I don't think it's going to matter if Purdy's in there, but at least they can save face a little bit. You're paying Purdy that money, so he really does have to be in there. But Mac Jones has been just fine, and his stock has continued to rise. So that's not a dilemma. With the Niners, I know that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you got 3 quarterbacks or something like that. But the Rams scored on gains of 64, 86, and 59 yards and added 3 more TDs in the second half effort. It looks like the Niners were going to have a chance of keeping up. Hey, let's get you some steam, and I'll talk a little more NFL football on Sunday. Maine and Rutgers. It's going to get you that early morning steam right now. Grab a cup and take a look at this one with the total moving under here. It was 136 with Maine and Rutgers. And right now that total moving lower here, definitely. This is a 6:30 Eastern start. This thing's down to 132 here right now at the books that do have it up. You're not going to find all the extra games yet on the board at every book, but Maine and Rutgers, this is a big move here. Opened as high as 136.5. And it's down here to 132 on some steam here. Steam had a pretty good week last week, that's for sure, in college basketball. And hopefully, let me know how you did. If you played any of it, were you tracking it to see how it does? I mean, I track it here just as a whole, so I can't sit here and say, hey, the steam does this and the steam does that. We can only give out all the games that were on the air. This is a product that is paid for, but it still did rock here last week. Well over 60% of the moves that we announced here on the air were hit by the steam. So let me know if you were checking it out there here over the past week with those plays. All right, let me go back to also, hey, we did have let's see here. Let me get the football out here. Let me say hello to some folks here real quick and say hi. Let everybody know I'm here. And Bobby Mack is here first today. Thank you. Jordy Fuentes is here as well. Nuke is here. Says the Jags. Oh, we'll talk. That's like my first game up, Nuke. Talk about that Jags game. But let me make sure we got the steam machine on here just in case. Last week, the steam, I'm going to get the record of it here too. Blake is here today. Nick Handy, I think he's already going on some of the games today. Is that right there? Wizards and Pistons. Thank you, Nick. Maybe he's got to go. Nice to see you. Nick Handy as well. He's got some picks for tonight there with Saquon. Bobby Mack says, let's see here. Timothy Hawk is in there, and he says, oh, good morning. Hello. And there's sports money as well. A couple well-deserved days off here. We just, our show's with Razor, you guys. That's it. Don't worry about us. We're not going anywhere, but we owe true to Razor, and they want to have him enjoy a vacation. We're not going to go on without him here on these nights. And I got to watch the Chargers last night and hoot and holler because, I wasn't worried. I mean, of course, maybe I was just going with a hedge there with the Steelers. I just didn't think the Chargers, you saw that Herbert was still under pressure. There's no doubt about it, but they were good. The Chargers were good with the running game. And how about Antonio Gates? I was there at the game giving some kudos to Keenan Allen for setting the all-time Chargers reception record. I thought that was cool as well. All right, and good, Robert. Okay, great. We'll have some more moves. There's already been several moves here. I'm not going to give it all the stale ones here, I think. But let me get back to some of the action here from yesterday. I just want to cover some of the games. I will. Let me go to that Texans game. For sure, as Houston erased a 29-10 deficit after three quarters with a 93-yard game-winning drive in the final 31 seconds. Davis Mills, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. You heard what I said about Davis Mills. Now, granted, you heard what Sharkey said on the show with Mike. They were 1-16-1 with Davis Mills at quarterback. Now, that's not some Mikey Money 116-1 trend. That was 1-16-1 at home with Davis Mills at quarterback. Remember, I said he was actually the quarterback of this team, because of circumstances. He became the quarterback of the Texans there when they were kind of at a low, and they're still kind of at a low. But you know what? Davis Mills live and learn, right? So he had 2 TDs, ran for another, and the Texans went 10 for 15 on third down. Houston's 4-0 and they scored 26 or more, and they outgained Jacksonville by 200 yards in that one with the Jaguars and the Texans there yesterday. And did they get us the money there on the premium with that return for the touchdown? Yeah, I had the Texans in that one. Sorry, Nuke. There, but it might have been a push actually, right at one point. I don't know where the line landed for you guys, but obviously with that late touchdown there, they did get the money. So anyways, that steam last week, all the college baskets steam last week. Let's see here. 230 31 wins and 155 losses. So that'll do it. That'll get it done. And so we're going to keep you posted here on the show. Miami shocked Buffalo. We had Miami here on the show yesterday. Well, we had the over on the Morning Steam show yesterday. We were on Miami as well, but actually it did not go over. But Miami shocked Buffalo, snapping that 7-game losing streak. I know Mikey Money had Miami as a premium. And Tua threw for 173 yards and 2 TDs, and the Dolphins went behind their running game, if you will. Achan, man, everybody was on this guy, and he came through for all the backers with a big game. Dolphins had a 200 yards rushing. Buffalo scored no points on their first 7 drives. People riding those Miami and under cash again. They're actually 10-6, the Dolphins are in their last 16 games as underdogs, and well, they're starting to become an underdog now. Colts over the Falcons, 31-25 in overtime. Jonathan Taylor, 244 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, as Indy forced overtime with a 44-yard field goal. Badgley was struggling there, but he came through. And then the Colts outgained Atlanta 500-300, despite going 2 for 12 on third down. But man, the Colts here are still able to be on a roll here right now, and they're a solid play here still with their great season they're having. Now, it may have landed right on the number for some, but I think the Falcons pretty much got the money there. We were calling the Falcons there. We were on the air with you guys yesterday morning with the Falcons and under. Didn't go under for sure, but I think the Falcons got there with that hook. I don't think there were many 6 flats out there, so even I can take credit, I think, for a win there. Jets over the Browns, 27-20. The Jets with the crazy special teams plays, a 74-yard kick return, the 99-yard kickoff return, punt return, and kick return in the first quarter. Fields, I was talking, hey, watch this, Fields. Now, granted, I heard what Sharkey was saying about Justin Fields a little bit, but I'm saying he still stood up and took it like a man, and he got him another win here on Sunday with the 27-20 win, despite throwing for 54 yards. Okay, you got me on that one, but the Jets still covered, took advantage of Cleveland's road struggles, where they are basically, have they won a road game in the last year and a half right now? I think not. Just it's an automatic loss for the Browns on the road right now, and you had them laying points in that one. Ravens over the Vikings in a good one, 27-19. Baltimore became a slow start to score 24 points over 50 plays. Lamar threw for a touchdown. The defense, 3 turnovers. Vikings struggled on third down with JJ. I thought he was okay, but he was a little bit overmatched there in the end. It was the difference, actually, was Jackson's play and McCarthy's play, but still hope for some McCarthy backers like me. I think he was fine there. Just maybe still needs more games. Remember, these are very early in his career right now, and you're going up against the Ravens team that are hungry here for sure. Vikings needed it too, but right now, big time turnover problems for the Vikings. They're -9 in their last 6 games. So Ravens bettors, backers, and fans can feel pretty good that they're starting to score those points again now. Lamar's back. Bears over the Giants, 24-20. Yeah, we had the Bears here on the morning steam yesterday, and Mikey Money scored also with that under. We had it as a premium under as well, with Chicago rallying from that 2010 deficit with touchdown drives of 91 and 53 yards in just a little under 4 minutes. Caleb Williams, 220 yards passing, 60 yards rushing, and the Bears had 4 sacks, and Dart had to leave the game in the fourth quarter with concussion, and it's hard to say, tough luck, right? I mean, when you are a little bit out of control, you're going to pay the price, and that's what he kept doing. He kept throwing himself into danger, and it wasn't like there were penalties, injuring him. These were just hits that he took because, he's just feeling it right now and wants to do everything himself, but taking a little bit too much on there, and the Bears got that win. Patriots over the Bucks in the big game of the day. New England kept that streak alive with their 7th straight win, and they're also, they were showing a comparison where really a kind of an unprecedented run or a historic run here could be for the Patriots as teams that are kind of doing what they've done, including the amount of scoring that they're doing, really puts them in elite company as if they were a Super Bowl contender. I think we can concede that they are certainly a playoff contender that can make a deep run. There's still obviously some good teams in the AFC, but they're doing some things that we only see Super Bowl winners do when it comes to their achievements right now in the scoring department and with some of the defense as well. It was 28-23 in this one. They got the money here in that one. Henderson was awesome with 147 yards and 2 touchdowns on 14 carries and showing his speed on that 69-yarder. Baker, 273 yards and 2 TDs, but the Pats cover again, 6-1 ATS in the last 7. Saints over the Panthers. We had the under here on the morning steam yesterday. I was on some other shows talking up the Saints, and this one is Tyler Shuck threw for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. We wonder, what will we get? Do they really think they have something? Hey, if Shuck wasn't your quarterback over Rattler before, what makes him the special now? You were going up against the Panthers that really don't have a great. They're 5-5, but you know what? Their schedule's been kind of easy. The Saints are, terrible. We know that they're right there with the bottom teams, but the Saints bettors have been cashing consistently as division road underdogs. Saints 13-5 in the last 18. Their ground game was good. Their defense held Carolina to just a touchdown, and they had those white uniforms. Maybe that helped. The Lions over the Commanders, 44-22. Yeah, we were all over the Lions yesterday on the morning steam, weren't we? And it looked every bit apart. Dan Campbell calling the plays himself. Is it just going to be for 1 week, or does he keep doing it now? Detroit scored on all 8 drives for 537 yards of offense. Goff, 3 touchdowns. Gibbs, 142 yards and 2 scores. You guys were talking about big time in the chat, and the Lions continued their dominance as road favorites. We knew the Lions coming off a bad game, going on the road as a favorite, 13-2 against the spread. Their last 15 in the roll as road favorites. They smashed in that one. And did the Cardinals was it the same exact score in the Cardinals game, 44-22, or was I just sleeping when I wrote this script? I know it was a blowout, but I think it was also 44-22, right? 2 of the same score there. Yeah. And Seattle opened the game with those 2 defensive touchdowns and in the first 16 minutes by the same guy, and he led 35-0 at halftime. Sam Darnold threw a touchdown, and Seattle had 198 yards on the ground as they finally got Walker and Charbonneau going there a little bit. The defense had 5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. Brissett's not it. I'm trying to switch from Murray to Brissett, but I just can't do it. I mean, look, totally agree with what Sharky and Mike were saying there on the show about Murray. It's about time that we, give up on this situation. But you know what? Still going to be a little bit better off with Murray. You're just never going to be better off with the Cardinals. That's for sure. So Seattle's won and covered 7 of their last 8 games. And all right, that's a good look at the games from Sunday. We got tonight, Monday Night Football, Eagles and Packers. Hurts and love. Love hurts. Love hurts. Let's go to the chat. See if you guys had any reaction to it. Apache Storm wants Watson first touchdown. Green Bay overrated. Was I singing New Order in there, Cactus Black? If I did, it was just on autopilot there. If I was singing New Order, or is it a New Order of Who's Good? Or because I might slip in some New Order references in the show sometimes, and maybe nobody catches them. All right. Keenan Jerry said, I missed it, huh? Jerry, I had to bring it up the second time around. I actually skipped that part in the notes there, but I got it. Is there a quarterback controversy in Houston? There better not be. I don't think so. I'm never taking Davis. If they had an offensive line, yeah, Mills, maybe he was able to negotiate, but Jacksonville's not going to put a huge amount of pressure. Yeah, the defense kind of came through, but let's get back to some strong defenses here. Make Davis Mills be on his back in 2 seconds. Stroud's still the man. Stroud needs an offensive line. Plenty of teams will take a chance. Yeah, I know we're starting to get down on these shorter quarterbacks. I still want to think that Stroud might be a little bit ahead of some of the other smaller guys out there. Let's see. JJ Dynamite should have been playing quarterback there. Good morning to M the Great and Terrell Wright. I mean, what can you say about these Dolphins? As soon as you love them, they're going to look terrible. Don't worry. But we were on them yesterday. That's the way it is, right? I mean, the Bills, that's the way they're that type of team too. Kind of crazy because the Bills have been so dominant over there. Bills are working with Vegas, apparently. Says Greg. Atlanta game in there. Greg in Atlanta. I think we got home with them. Jerry says Baltimore is going to win that division. And look at that. I mean, Carolina can't win at all as a favorite. They're right. Nuke. Terrible roll for them. Minnesota's a fluke. That might be a little fraudulent there. The defense is all right, but man, Lamar makes a difference. So, all right. And Mikey says, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. All right. And let's see. Chicago may be back. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Tampa's overrated, says Greg. Oh, man, it's tough to overrate a team that wins the division every single year, though. I know, and yes, it's probably the weakest year in and year out, right? But is Seattle really the best team? I don't know. I'm still leaning to these two teams tonight. Maybe, we'll talk about this one right now. We're going to get into it. But I think Philly here can they can afford a little breathing room a little bit. I think this game is a little bit more pressure-packed for Green Bay right now. Philly's got their own worries, but you know what? You look in the rearview mirror right now in the NFC East, and you might be like, you know what? We can get there, win this division. You want to have a good record, try to get the home field all the way through. But the Bears are a little bit more, the Packers are a little bit more pressure here in this game, it feels like tonight. And Greg, right, when you're playing, that's it for Seattle. Don't forget, you got to play the Niners. You got to play the Rams. And look, the Rams, what can you say about the Rams right now, too? Don't overlook them because, if anything, the defense is looking good for the Rams. Tariq comes in. He had the Panthers with the Seahawks, the Gibbs TD. I think was I the one that let us down in the TD there yesterday? And Greg said, what about the Avalanche giving up those 9 goals? I mean, come on, Avalanche. I mean, the Oilers. Come on, Oilers. Check out the community tab here on YouTube. Make sure you get your vote in for Monday Night Football, and then we'll release the vote there probably on the social media. And the poll's live in the chat. Okay, great. I get it's not visible there in the YouTube, right, Mikey? So thank you for doing that. That sounds awesome. Terrell, man, it might be too late for Kyler's getting so old. Could he really pick up a bat and go back into baseball? I don't know about that. All right, Packers. Let's see. I think we almost threw them all. You guys are talking about the game here. Okay, 6 of 10 are on the Eagles. This is a good one to do the poll on too, right? Because we're talking about a toss-up here. We're not even worried about the game itself, right? Packers will be in this game, and Ken Mizrahi is here. So let's just get into it. I think we covered most of the headlines there yesterday. Former Commissioner Paul Tagliabue passed away yesterday. He led the NFL for 17 years, and they had some They had some conflicts with the NFLPA at that time, but he was the one that issued in those record TV contracts, got the league to agree to more stringent how can I say it? Drug testing there, and of course the expansion era as well. So, but it wasn't without some faults too. I mean, you saw the movie Concussion, right? That was the Tagliabue era, pretty much, if I'm not mistaken. So, and also, how about President Trump at the game? Definitely was getting booed there, but was it so much that I don't portray the Commanders crowd necessarily. I think they might have been booing because this team is going to get moved back to Washington, and once they build that new Trump Stadium in Washington and take them out of Maryland. So I think that's what it was more about. President's going to get half booed no matter where he goes. But I think in the crowd there, I think it was more Commanders fans that don't want to see that. I think they really like the team there. They obviously have been there for a while and were there previously. So I think that was more what the booing was about. Yeah, maybe half the booing was from non-Trump, but I also think that you throw in the rest of the fan group that maybe they don't want that team to move back to they're Washington. So, hey, that's what's going to happen. But I'll say there was a little bit of that because there was talking about the booing there of the president. So, all right. Let's go here. Let's talk about, see if we get that poison pill from Micah Parsons. If he were dealt to the Eagles or any other team, that Green Bay would owe the Cowboys. And what was that all about? Did anybody see that? I don't even know if I read it right. Okay. Greg, your Packers will be in. Here we go. I'm getting to the chat here right now. Packers for Jordy and Terrell. Yeah, they were indicted, and everybody's like coming to me, wanting to say, oh, did you see? I mean, that's an old story technically, right, Terrell? That just the fact that the indictment came down for these guys. We already know that they were already basically kicked out of baseball several months ago, and just the story resurfaces. And if anything, it was kind of under the radar a little bit, right, when it actually happened. And then now it becomes a bigger deal, but that's okay. And then they wanted their food stand. They wanted their snack. The guy was flipping off he should have been snapping it up. Okay, we're going to close the poll, huh, Mike? What do you got to leave? We need this poll open. But I know it is up there on the okay, here we go. We're getting too much talk about Monday Night Football. I got to get into it. But first, hey, you can get the picks from all of our guys over at winnable.com. Get mine at winnable.com/Ramon. Had some pretty good plays over there. I'm trying to get home. Mussetti's not going to win this match. I sent him out on a free selection here this morning. But, hey, we didn't do too bad on the picks there over the weekend. Thought we had some pretty good winners there on the board last night. We came home with Sacramento and Minnesota over. We had the under in Memphis and OKC. But overall, winners came through there a little bit on the main card of UFC on Saturday night. Had a little bit of a roll there at the end after we were mediocre there through the middle of the card. But I had Ottawa there as well over the weekend. And we did have the props there. We had Tyler Algier over. And also want to apologize for one pick. I hope everybody figured it out. The AI thing with the winnable is pretty good. And I sent out Ty Warren over 4.5 receptions, and that did cash. But the AI read Jalen Warren of the Steelers, I think, or there, and might have looked like an error. So apologize for that. Should have been a 3-0 card. And hopefully you read it because it said UFC Germany picks. So, NFL Germany picks. So anyways, we'll try to fix that. But I do like using that AI with the graphics and putting those book recommendations up there as well. So check us out over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM. You get Mikey over there too at MMHF as well. We're all part of the Winnable team here. And that's how you support me here on the channel. If you want me to keep coming back, why not subscribe? $19 a month is $16 when you use the promo code STEAM. I tack on an extra week when you get a month subscription. That's 5 weeks. That's about 40 cents a day. This show's worth 40 cents to you. I'd really appreciate it. You guys give me some great pizzas and some great snacks. Keep me fed so I wake up in time to do the show. All right, let's go right now. Nobody wants to wait any longer. Let's get into Monday Night Football. Thank you, Mr. Weskers. Yep, you called it on that one. Okay, I got it half right. Or no, yeah, I guess I did get it right. All right, and let's see. Yeah, Nuke, Nuke. AI is something else, man. I'll tell you. I write. I do so much work in my writing stories about my high school football teams. It used to take me 8 hours. I could do it in like 2 hours using AI now. But you can't. It's all about what you feed the AI, right? You can tell it kind of what to say. And if you don't like the first version, tell it what to get rid of. Don't just settle for the answer. All right. Okay, here we go. The graphic is up there. You guys are making some great comments. And oh man, San Diego FC rocked 4-0, man. I think they can do it. I think they can win this championship. They having some turmoil actually with their with Lozano, but oh man, the other guys are so good on this SDFC team. You wonder if, and soccer's a little different. It's not like they got a whole jump on them there, but you got to wonder if they got a little bit of a benefit from the expansion draft. But they had to add players too. Here's Eagles Moneyline. We're started, and I haven't even started yet. Let me go here. Eagles and Packers tonight from the frozen tundra of Green Bay. It's expected to be between 32 and 28 degrees tonight, so we definitely got football weather. Hey, for a football player, that's not terrible weather. Pretty miserable probably out there wearing heavy jackets and long underwear, but the Eagles have been outgained in 7 of their last 8 games. We know that they've had offensive woes for sure. Maybe they can finally get it going. Brown's going to be back and, maybe as healthy as he has been here finally in a while, and that'll certainly help Devonta because, hey, one thing the Packers do, I mean, I think that they've got this defense has been totally changed with Micah Parsons. What can you say? I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm just some guy who watches every game on TV and just sees what I see, but that impacted the defense tremendously here. And I think it'll be hard for the Eagles. Now, look, you got Dallas Goedert, the best tight end in the game. And I don't know if I always agree with Mike when he says that, but he could have a big night tonight if Hurts can just get him the ball, and that's what he has to do. That's going to be his key target tonight. I would think Goddard's going to have a big game here. They might look. The Eagles can turn this into some type of battle of field goal games tonight. That'd probably be their best chance. I don't think they want to get into necessarily a higher scoring game. I don't know if they can get into a higher scoring game in this one tonight right now. I mean, they can certainly put pressure on Jordan Love and make it very uncomfortable for him, especially because the Packers are so beat up offensively with their receivers. Look, Dobbs is in. That's good. And also, Watson. It looks like he can make this lineup despite being pretty questionable here. It's, since he's come back, 2 decent performances for sure. So Golden, I'm a little bit worried about him. He is questionable coming in as well. But from there, it looks like Wicks and Williams, those guys are questionable. Let me see if I can get the latest injury report up here. But they may not be as bad off as was once feared with the receiver units. I think it's still to be seen how many of these guys actually make it to the lineup tonight. I mean, Williams, questionable. Watson, questionable. Wicks, questionable. Golden, questionable. Kraft, of course, is out. They do have a capable backup in Luke Musgrave. I mean, Musgrave has been called on in the past, and he's been with this team long enough where he's been kind of the number one in certain games, before when Kraft was out. And, how important the tight end is to Green Bay. I mean, for the last, 20 years, really, even backdating to the Favre days, they've always had the tight end that they can rely on. But you got to have these receivers in, and they're all questionable. Pretty much, Jair Alexander's out here for Philly tonight, but A.J. Brown, that hamstring that's been bothering him, he's probable here. Barkley's probable, but Barkley was on the list too with that groin injury. So a little bit of concern that these 2 skill players have had notable injuries, In fact, other than the receivers of the Packers, where I don't know if the injuries are quote unquote notable, it's like a cluster injury kind of. Just the fact that Brown and Barkley, these are probably really the most concerning injuries in the game, but they're ready to go. Still, they might be somewhat hobbled here on the road on a cold night. So we'll see. Good thing I don't have to go on the air with the guys tonight and kind of say that might be on the Packers, but I'll probably instead kind of go to the total here in this one, and I'm going to go under 45.5 tonight with this Green Bay defense. I think will harass. We know the Eagles have had some offense, and they've had a lot of self-doubt, if you will, and it did take some good old-fashioned opponents, maybe where they were more comfortable a little bit, the Giants and whatnot. But Eagles are 7-4 as a road underdog. I think they're an underdog here right now, still by just 1 point. The move has clearly been on Philadelphia here this week, moving maybe from 3, 2.5 down to 1 here now. So, and again, I just think that the Eagles can kind of afford the loss more than the Packers. Because you know why? Because the Packers got that dumb 1 on the end of their record. They'd both come in 6-2 if it wasn't for that game. But that one on their record is going to cost them in the playoff. They're going to end up having to play possibly a road game, I think. I don't know. Maybe they would have played on the road anyways. But still, I think that tie is going to come back to haunt them. Packers are 5-8, last 13 ATS coming in off of loss. Of course, the Eagles beat Green Bay 34-29 in the playoffs last year, and Philly's actually won the last 3 meetings. They won by 5 last year. They won by 12 before that. And they won by 7 before that, although they've split the last 6 meetings here in Green Bay. Green Bay's actually allowed their opponent to go over their team total in 4 of their last 5 games. Meanwhile, Philly's allowed their opponent to go over their team total in 6 straight. That might point to an over, but it's going to be cold tonight. I know it's not going to bother these guys, but I'm going to take the under here in this one at 45.5 with the Eagles and the Packers here tonight. Eagles have been doing a pretty good job with that run defense too. Last 2 weeks, their opponents have only run for 160 yards or so against them defensively. Eagles are 12-6 against the spread. Last 18 coming in off of a win. Of course, the Eagles had a monster game on the ground last week after being held to under 100 yards the previous 5 weeks. They ran for 276 yards. They were off to the races. But again, they have been outgained by everybody almost all season long because of the lack of confidence in the offense. And so much so, right, that even the receivers were, we've already been through the complaining by just still a darn good team. No reason to worry about it. Yeah, maybe they want to be the best offense around. Let's see. Greg says Steelers got exposed last night by my Chargers. Robert's on the Eagles on the money line here. And Greg says he's got the Eagles hands down. Mr. Westwood says nobody's beating these Eagles. Wow, am I off on this one then, you guys? Who's got the better defense, the Packers or the Eagles? Who does, right? Robert's on the over here. And how did the Pack lose last week to Carolina? Were they looking ahead to this game? Let's see your sports money. Okay, we're done here maybe with the Eagles here. It's going to be 74-26, our chat. 3/4 of the votes here on the Eagles here tonight to win. And Jerry says that the Pack's overrated. Yeah, they're going to have their own issues tonight offensively. That's for sure. They really got to get, hopefully, Josh Jacobs going here. I thought he had a pretty good week last week. So he really had, even though he underproduced, he really was pretty solid. I think he's been very, very solid here, actually, for the last 6 weeks in a row. But we'll see the Eagles. I really rate the Eagles kind of the middle of the road run defense. Let's see here. Under and maybe there. Sacks will reign supreme tonight, says Ken. Ties only help teams with bad records. That's right. AOD is here this morning, and Public Enemy likes the Eagles. So that's a lot of Eagles. You guys, thanks for voting in the poll here on the Sports Money Network. And maybe it could stay over, or could it go overtime tonight on a 1-point game? You'd think a 1-point game, right? If any game's going to go overtime, it's going to be a 1-point game. And there's no doubt that injury to Kraft was brutal. But I will say this, Packers always, like I said, they utilize that tight end big time. Kraft was, other than Dallas Goedert, Tucker Kraft, I mean, he's the best. So it did suck that he went down with that injury, because he was basically on fire since he came back. It really did help the Packers too, big time. And look, they're still coming in here with a 5-2-1 record. I know you guys have your doubts here. Romeo Dobbs got to have a big night. It's not a great matchup for him. And one of these, two of these four guys have got to come up and be in the game tonight, between Golden, Watson, Wicks, and Williams. And preferably, if you're the Packers, Golden and Watson. But if not, you got to have at least Wicks in there possibly. So, all right, this one could come down to a field goal, and I think you got two good kickers here. Okay. And Greg says Packers beat the Panthers beat the Packers and lost to the Saints. Crazy NFL. All right, I guess that's it for Monday Night Football. I guess I'm on the under there, and should be great. All right, we're going to go to the NBA next. We've got a 9-game card here in the NBA tonight. Wow. Let's get into it. All right, Lakers at Hornets here. Lakers are 8 and total 230.5. I told AI to make me a story, write me a story with a scenario that the Charlotte Hornets never traded the Kobe Bryant to the LA Lakers. And man, wow, the Hornets won 2 championships with Kobe Bryant. Good thing they didn't trade him to Charlotte for Vlade Divac. For the Lakers. So the AI was good for something, but imagine if the Hornets would have kept Kobe Bryant. Okay, here we go, though, with the Lakers and the Hornets here. Lakers now favored by 8 in this one. Total here, 230.5. Man, the Lakers just continue to look pretty impressive here at 7-3 right now. Charlotte comes in 3-6. Lakers did have that losing streak, snapped last time out. They lost the first game of this road trip to Atlanta, 122-112 as a 5.5-point favorite. Charlotte's lost a couple in a row on the road at New Orleans and at Miami here. That was after they beat the Hornets at home. Lakers right now have gone over in 8 of their 10 games so far, but they are just 1-2 to the under as a favorite. And Charlotte's been a little bit of an under team. They're 1-3 to the under at home. But man, you really going to get in the Lakers' way right now with this Hornets team? And if the Lakers come in even relatively modestly healthy here, shouldn't that be enough? We've got some steam right now in college basketball coming in. It's in one of the games that we're previewing here. So let me get this together here real quick with a breaking steam move here with Xavier in their game against Santa Clara here. Xavier was a 2.5-point favorite. Now they're a 3-point favorite. And let's see if it goes higher. It's going to go higher. Oh, man. We're on the air here. I like Xavier as my play. This is what I was going to give out. I had it as a play here on the show right now, so I'm sorry. But it's going up right now. The Xavier here is now 4.5, you guys. I still like them to win. I hope they can cover this inflated number here before I had a chance to give it out on the show. Oh, man, Xavier still should be a pretty good game tonight. We're going to preview it here. The steam also came in on the under in that game. I'm not so sure it's going to be an under. You're playing Santa Clara at home, but Anyways, the steam's coming in right now on Xavier. I'll give it out right now at -4.5 and hope that's not gone too far here. Sure did like it better at 2.5 or 3, just like everybody says on these shows. But hey, the line is what it is right now, and you just have to make a decision. I did like Xavier, so battle of 2-0 teams kind of feels like it's kind of the game of the night. But we'll get to it. All right, Taylor Fritz just rocked Musetti. So Musetti, get out of here. Why am I doubting my guy Taylor Fritz, the man from Del Mar, California, Rancho Penasquitos? All right. Anyways, I'm going to take the Lakers in this one here at -8. Yeah, it might be a little bit tough to get this bigger number against a team that, not really have a lot of motivation to come in here and cover this game. But Charlotte right now 1-5 against the spread. Last 6. Lakers 9-3-1 against the spread. Their last 13 against Charlotte coming in. Charlotte's gone under actually in 5 straight, including 4 of their last 5 at home. I'm going to take the Lakers in this one. Get your plays on this game between Lakers and Hornets. Here they go. Lakers for VAR. And Kenny was talking the Packers game in there. Justin's in the chat this morning. Good morning to Justin. And let's see here. Terrell likes the Lakers here.
Final.
And they were looking forward to this one. How about Luka to go over in his points? And Greg says we're playing the commercials here. Can't hear me with those commercials. What kind of commercials are the cookies to what, like, are they do the commercials look more like something Ramon Scott would say, or you're on your own private cookies? Lakers will blow the doors off this team. Robert likes the under here at 229 or 230. Greg says, I think Greg calls it right on he's got a little bit of an over there. Robert saying Lakers. And after the loss, Greg says the Lakers will come out flying. There's our tops. Chosen One's got Luka's PRA to go over. Public Enemy on the Lakers. Tariq says first half Lakers. Portland Trailblazers on the road, taking on the Orlando Magic. Magic favored by 2.5 here, and the total 235.5. The Magic are just 4-6 so far. Portland comes in 5-4 here, but Magic have been trouble all along, especially ATS here right now. The Magic are just 1-4 against the spread at home, 3-7 against the spread as a favorite. 3-7. Can you believe that the Magic have been favored in every game so far this season? Does that say why they might be 3-7 against the spread? You talk about overrated. You guys are coming in here. This team's overrated. That team's overrated. I kind of wanted to root for Orlando to maybe grow up a little bit, but here we are as a whole talking about bettors kind of putting their stock in this team, and it hasn't come through. Orlando has not been good here so far. When you're 4-6 straight up and 3-7 against the spread, you are not fulfilling expectations. Meanwhile, Portland's 5-0 against the spread as an underdog on the road. Here you're getting 2.5 points, and they're 2-2 straight up on the road. Still going to be a tough game for Portland here against Orlando for sure. Orlando's hungry for wins, and maybe it will work out for them, but the way the teams are kind of playing anyway, it doesn't feel like it's a great spot for Orlando. It feels like Portland, but nonetheless, Portland has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams, and 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Hey, let's get you a little steam here real quick, if I may. Maine is taking steam here against Rutgers. Rutgers was a 20-point favorite in this game, but right now the steam's coming in on Maine, and it's down to 17 right now. 3-point move on Maine. Of all teams, the steam has come in on Maine over Rutgers. And just seconds ago, the steam came in on Holy Cross against Utah on the under in this one. It was 156.5, but we're going to go to at least 155 here for sure. That was actually the original number. Might have been dummied up there a little bit because the steam just came in on the under with Holy Cross and Utah. All right. Anyway, Portland 7-2 to the over so far this season. That's pretty strong, but like I said, this series kind of goes under here with these two. So look, Orlando's not a big over team at all. In fact, they're 2-3 to the under right now. So yeah, Portland's an over team. Maybe it's a young team here, but look, these in a non-conference game, so that 7-for-8 to the under is over like a 4-year span. I get that, but there also is a little bit to Portland going on the road. You're in a non-conference game, or I wouldn't say at home, but all right, home or road, if you will, because this series kind of feels like an under here, and I'm going under actually between Portland and Atlanta here. Maybe because it is 235. And any lower, I'd probably be liking the over. So, but I'm like going with the under here in this one, if I could ever spit out my words. Also, here's a little bit more steam in college basketball. Western Kentucky. Hey, you know who they're up against today? Eastern Kentucky. That's finger looking good. I'm going to tell you the steam's just come in here on Western Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky was a 2.5-point favorite, but this one's going to go down probably to 1. That's where the send out was. Another dumb up here. Maybe they dummied this one up because it was 2.5 down to 1. Now I'm seeing Western Kentucky a 1-point favorite at Bet Online. And now I'm seeing a 1-point favorite at a couple other spots. So Western Kentucky's just moved to the favorite here, it looks like. All right, let's keep it moving here. Oh, let me get your plays in Portland and Orlando. Thank you, guys. And here's Trailblazers for Justin. Hornets on the spread. Trailblazers on the spread for 9 legacy. Here's more Blazers for chosen one. Robert does like the over here. Yeah, and Portland is scoring a lot of points for sure. And they're giving up some points too. But under for VAR, though. Art Thompson on the Blazers. Greg says Magic played a tough game against Boston yesterday, so that's got to help Portland there a little bit. Fade the Magic in the back-to-back. And Magic to play rival Orlando. And Portland should win, says Greg. He says they should be favored in this game. Hello to AJ Punk. I want to see you in the chat. Greg says Portland just lost to Miami. They're not losing to 2 Florida teams. Robert's got the Blazers here. And Terrell says second game of the trip for Portland. Bounce back win after losing to Miami. Greg says take the points with the team playing Syracuse. Whoever's playing Syracuse, I think he's saying. Blazers under for Public Enemy. Has also got the Blazers money line and the under.
Steam play.
Yeah, about some college basketball steam before we get to the next game here. And this one is Southeast Louisiana and Georgia Tech. In this one, we're seeing the steam coming in here right now on the under. Ooh, this one was as high as 139. But, boy, we're seeing this one move quite a bit lower here right now with Southeast Louisiana and Georgia Tech. In fact, this one's down here to 135.5. That's a 3.5-point move from the opener of 139. In fact, it opened 140.5 at Bet Online. Pretty big move there on Southeast Louisiana and Georgia Tech's team to the under. That's how we cover kind of all the college basketball. We can't preview 20 games in an hour here on our show. We got to cover all the sports, but hopefully we get you covered with these hot steam moves here. You can analyze it yourself as well, but want to keep you up to date on those fast moves. All right, here's the Wizards taking on the Pistons here. And, boy, one team's going one direction, one team's going the other. You've heard that before, and that's what is happening here. The Pistons are red hot right now, and hey, I think they're for real, at least as for real as to what we were expecting the Pistons in their current growth movement here. Maybe they're overshooting their expectations. Maybe their schedule hasn't been the toughest, but right now they've won 6 straight, covered 5 of their last 6. Washington's not only 0-8 in their last 8, they're 0-8 against the spread. So, I mean, what can you do with when a team is just as bad as this team is? are we looking at a historically bad? We always say it about one or two teams every year, but right now it does look awful here for Washington. Getting going. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Get this, the widely reported steam came in here on Washington. In fact, that's what made Detroit. Detroit was as high as a 13-point favorite here, but now it's down to 11.5, and the injuries are more. Chris Middleton's out, Chris Middleton's questionable. Koulibaly, he's out. Pistons have Ivy out. We know that for a long time now. Sasser out. Stewart questionable. Harris questionable. I'm going to take Detroit. I think this Wizards team is historically bad. I think Detroit will probably win this game by at least 15 points. I've got to take the Pistons here to rock over Washington. I'll go to your plays, but first I've got a steam move here. New Orleans and LSU. Go to the Bayou for this one. Steam to the under at 159.5. It's going to go down, I think, to 158 here when this one gets settled. New Orleans and LSU taking that steam here right now. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It's down to 158.5. Like I said, I think it's going to go to 158 when it's done moving. Your comments in the chat. Washington, Detroit. Don't have to take too much time on this one, probably, huh? Greg said Georgia Tech not covering that spread. AOD is here, and he knew it's time for Detroit. He had to get to the keyboard. He had to get to the phone, and he's ready to go tonight. Greg's got it for Detroit as well here. It looks like he's also got it over. And AOD's loving this coaching staff. He's loving Cade right now. It's all going on. We're not even healthy, AOD says. Barr's got Detroit. He is so fired up about this team. And poor Chosen One's like, there's no hope for the Wizards right now. You know, the Wizards, why, I guess some names, we've cleaned up the crime in Washington, D.C. Why can't we go back to calling them the Bullets? Maybe that's not a great team name, but man. I don't know. The Wizards, they're kind of like named after Michael Jordan in a way because of his basketball wizardry, right? During points, over, and Pistons. I heard we're going to name them the Trumps. All right, that's it for that one. Cavaliers and Heat with the Cavs on the road here, favored by 7. And the total, 247.5. In fact, this one's up to 7.5 here, and that total just keeps going higher. Kind of crazy, right? I thought the Cavs were, kind of a defensive team, and the Heat, they certainly should have, they've got to be pretty confident now that they're a good team. They're 6-4 coming in, but the Cavs have won 4 straight. They're hot. Although they failed to cover in two of the 4 games, and here they are having to lay some points again against a Heat team who's 4-0 against the spread at home so far. The Cavs are just 3-7 against the spread overall. They've been favored in every game, and they have covered just 3 of 10, despite going 7-3 so far. Miami, we've been on them here. We've been riding Miami a little bit. I know they're only 6-4, but they are 4-0 at home. They're going to win this game. Come on. I'm, probably take them on the money line here, but I'm taking Miami, of course, plus the points in this one. Yeah, Bam is a big question mark here, no doubt. He is out. Larry Nance Jr. is out for the Cavs. They come in at full strength. So they're, having Bam out, you're basically your best player. Say what you want about the rest of the lineup. But missing Bam. But, hey, I think the Heat are, it's about you're playing the Heat here. You're playing the Spoelstra team. You got Normie Powell still in there. You're going to have Wiggins. Yeah, it's going to get a little thin there with the Larson and Ware and Mitchell, but they'll be playing the bench, and I'm going to take the Heat here plus 7.5. I'm keep playing the Heat here right now. I know that Bam's out. I can't stop playing the Heat against a team that's not covering. All right, Justin here liking that inflate. Let me cover that price on the total there. I mean, these two teams aren't overwhelming over teams, right? You'd be thinking, hey, 247.5. What do these guys go over all the time? Well, no. Uh, Cleveland's 5 up and 5 down, 5 over, 5 under. Miami's 2-2 over under at home so far. So I don't know. It did seem kind of. Now I know this matchup does kind of reek of okay, maybe so. You do have two teams that certainly can produce some points, but they've had their share of weird games too, right? Remember the playoff series here. Look at 138 to 83, 124 to 87. Remember, this was the playoff series last April. The Cavaliers took it down. All right. Terrell, thank you. Yes, let's do it. The Washington Orange Men. That should be their name. Terrell has won again. Terrell, your humor is I was going to say only surpassed by me, but that's not a compliment. Greg here likes it 124 to 117. Bars got the under. Public Enemy got the under. Did they just set this too high? It does feel like, right, we should go over. It feels like one of those games. You got to go over because 247, but it doesn't feel like, I mean, when I think of Heat and Cavs, I'm thinking we're going to get down to some business here. Miami might beat Cleveland, says Greg. Miami on the spread here. Both teams on a 4-6. Greg says, "Why does that help the offense or defense, you think?" Terrell says Cleveland by double digits. Hey, how about this game? Spurs and Bulls, another good one. Spurs come in 7-2. The Bulls are 6-3. Spurs have won 2 in a row, but the Bulls have lost 2 in a row. Spurs with win and cover over Houston at home. Then they failed to cover against New Orleans in a win. Meanwhile, for the Bulls, they lost at Milwaukee and at Cleveland, but they did get the money against the Cavaliers that last one. So Chicago still continues to be a pretty strong cover here so far. In fact, they're 4-0-1 at home against the spread. Some people might have that spread the other night, right, in that game for Chicago against Philadelphia. I mean, it went both ways, right? There was 1.5, 2, 2.5. There could have been winners and losers. I just called it a tie, but you could argue that Chicago's 5-0 against the spread at home. You could also argue they're 4-1 against the spread at home. Doesn't matter. They're still 6-2-1 or so against the spread, while San Antonio is 1-2-1 against the spread on the road. I don't think they're horrible here. I mean, we know they're 7-2 straight up, but 5-0 straight up at home, 2-2 straight up on the road. Now, Chicago, of course, coming in off of that 2-game losing streak. San Antonio's got some momentum here a little bit. We know how hot they've been, but the Bulls have been kind of one of the talk of the town too. But they've slowed down here a little bit. Let's see how you guys have it, though, in the chat. This has been a tough series for San Antonio. They've lost 6 straight games to Chicago and failed to cover in 5 of those, just 1-5 against the spread when taking on the Bulls. Spurs have gone over in 4 of their last 5. Chicago's gone over in 5 of their last 7. I'm going to go over in this one at 237. It's already gone up from 234 up to 237. Juice to the over here now. DraftKings, this is a free play. I'm still going to go over, but there's about three points of tax already on this one. So I'm going to go premium on that. You know, the wider it gets, the less premium-y it gets. So I'm going to go over here with the Bulls and the Spurs in this one. Spurs are 3-1 to the over on the road this season. Get your comments in the chat in this one. And we've got Justin's on the Bulls here plus the points. Greg says Chicago money line. Bar says Spurs minus 3 our tops on the Bulls. Chosen One says got to back these Bulls. I think Greg's going to take the Bulls to win. Hello to Gooey McDougal in the chat. He says 40 minutes start. Laszlo Desire minus 2.5 here. All right. Thank you to Gooey McDougal. I didn't have any of the. I really was just going to play the finals here today. We got Sinner and FAA coming up. Sinner's favored by 4.5 games. I don't look. I just lost with Musetti. I said I was a free play. I wasn't totally overwhelmingly confident, but man, Musetti crumbled there against Fritz today. Maybe Fritz can come through here and make some noise in the finals. But coming up at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, Sinner. He's a huge favorite. I mean, he's minus 1,700 here, really, but he's up against FAA, and he's laying 4.5 games, and I think it's actually minus $1.25. Sinner's been incredible. He's just dominating everybody. Could he get through FAA here, 6-3, 6-3 today? Oh, man, I don't even know if I can get a premium on that one. To finals, I was excited, but that one's got me perplexed. Stay tuned. I'm going to keep the research in it here. Tariq says I got to check out that injury report here for sure with Giddy. Unfortunately, whereas sometimes I come on here saying, hey, look, this guy might make this lineup. I'm not sure, Giddy. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Patrick Williams is probable here. No extra value here with Luke Cornett out for the Spurs. So I'm going with the over in this one. Robert's on the Bulls. Chicago was getting too much love, but now at home, maybe you come right back on them, says Mr. Weskers. That's what you want to do. And thank you to Terrell. I want to, shame on me. Shame on me. Man, you know what? I mean, this should have been, and there was talk, even they were talking about it yesterday on, one of the shows was talking about Lenny Wilkens, and I just heard it out, and I was like, why are they talking about Lenny Wilkens on a football game? And I think it was maybe it had been one of the NFL games. I think it was the, it was the Seattle game, right? It was the Seattle game. It was the Seattle game against the Cardinals. Of course, they were talking about Lenny Wilkens on the Seattle football game, but just the fact that also, with a little bit of ties, to different other communities as well. But man, Lenny Wilkens. I mean, you talk about it. You talk about kind of the guys that transcended the game. Lenny Wilkens might be the most underrated of guys that he was right there in the. When you talk about changing the game, right? In today's game, it takes a generational player. Lenny was that guy as a player. I wasn't old enough to really see him there in his playing career, but he was that guy. That's what they say and what they talk about. Of course, he also was a legendary coach, but 9-time All-Star. And, there's almost, I'm not saying a Mount Rushmore type of guy, but if you had the wall of plaques, you had to put like 25 guys up there, I'd probably put Lenny Wilkens up there. Okay. Thank you to Terrell. Okay, here we go. Chicago plays Spurs tough. Chicago will win. Textiles is here. He's going with the Bulls. And can't lay 4.5 games because they're maybe just a chance, Gooey. It's 6-4, 6-4, right? It's not going to go 3 sets, is it? No. Come on. Maybe FA going to take a set off him. And now that Fox is back. Okay, let's see here. Chicago against Wemby. Spurs have Warriors at home. Nobody's worried about the Warriors on the road, right? Spurs haven't been covering there either. Spurs got their starting guard back. DeAndre Fox. All right. I'm going with the over in the Spurs and the Bulls. Bucks and Mavs here in this one. You got the Bucks here on the road, favored by 2.5. Total here 231.5 now. Yeah, Bucks are favored on the road. Dallas, they won a game here. Dallas snapped that losing streak last time out, beating Washington 111-105. Got to beat somebody. They're on the road. Milwaukee, meanwhile, lost at home to Houston 122-115. They've been up and down for sure. Washington's been inconsistent here of late. Washington comes in 6-4. Dallas just 3-7 so far this season. But Dallas is 3-2. ATS as a dog so far. They are a slight dog here. Milwaukee is 6-4 against the spread overall coming into this one. Dallas is just 2-8 to the under so far this season. These guys aren't clicking. They've had problems. They've had injury. They've had Anthony Davis problems. The total's actually 231.5 there. But Davis still questionable here. Now, Gafford was questionable, Lively doubtful, Exum out. Clay is probable. I don't know how great that is. The Bucks are relatively clear of injuries, except for Prince is out. And Milwaukee's been slightly an over team, 6-4 to the over, but they're 1-3 to the under on the road so far. So I kind of want to get in on the under here with Milwaukee and Dallas. Dallas has gone under in 6 of their last 7. They're under in 5 of their 6 games at home. This series has gone over in 5 of the 7, but it's an interconference series. So I'm going to take the under here in this one between the Mucks and the Mavericks, the Bucks and the Mavericks. I'm taking the under. All right. No, this is a boring game of the day. No one's saying anything. Greg says 118-115 Bucks. Bar is on the Bucks. And Greg says Bucks for sure here. He's got it as an under, though. Bucks for Tariq. The Pelicans are at the Suns. I mean, this game may be better than the last one. Pelicans come in here 2-7. The Suns are 5-5. We probably in the negative. We probably talked a little bit too much trash about them. They're not great, but they probably exceeded our. We've been down on them for sure. They're 5-0 against the spread at home. You guys are the Phoenix Suns right now. They are laying 8 points here, so that's probably going to scare a lot of people. But they are 3-0 against the spread as a favorite, because maybe people like me, idiots like me, are kind of saying, these Suns are no good. Well, you know what? Maybe they are. Maybe they took it to heart or something like that. They're 6-4 against the spread right now and doing a pretty good job. They're 3-0 as a favorite straight up. New Orleans is not winning anything. They are covering a few numbers here when they're getting enough. Maybe they are getting enough here tonight. They're 1-7 straight up as a dog, 1-5 straight up on the road, but 3-3 straight up, or 3-3 against the spread on the road here. So got to cut them a little bit of slack. They're covered 4 of their last 5, have the Pelicans, but the Suns have covered 5 of their last 6. 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Suns are trending slightly over so far, although Phoenix 1-2 to the under as a favorite, and Phoenix has gone under in 5 of their last 6 after starting the season with a little bit of rash of overs. But 4 of the last 5 have gone over here in Phoenix between the two semi-frequent opponents. I'm going to go over in this one with New Orleans and Phoenix. Give me the over here at 229. Says 228 there. Oh. Is there no steam on this game? Did the steam not? I'm showing this way down here at 226.5. This line has been moving. Where's the steam? It actually has been moving lower here. I can easily call this 226.5 without getting chastised for moving the total lower. So I could say go over. DraftKings does have a juice to the over, but I'm still taking over. And hey, that's value right there. This might end up being a premium tonight. I like the over in this one with New Orleans and Phoenix. Let's see here. We've got missed a few plays there. Dallas on the road. Mr. West says no bucks on the road. Take the under. You lose money, says Greg. Greg's got it here. Let's see. He's got it. He's got it going over there with me. Justin likes the over as well. Pelicans are bad, you guys. They're bad, huh? Tariq says Suns team total over. I mean, what happened to, oh, look at Zion. He looks so good this year. He's totally, and he does look in shape, but what have other than being a pretty bad franchise, what else are the Pelicans doing wrong here? It seemed like they were, growing some real talent here a little bit. Like maybe they were going to be able to make some strides. Who do you not like in this lineup here? What's wrong with Messi too? Is he Messi is questionable here. He's been sick, man, for 4 straight games right now. What has he got? Mono or something? He's got COVID. He probably got COVID. This is COVID season now. So Zion, of course, we know is out, but that is what it is. And let's see here. Jordan Poole out indefinitely. Yeah, we heard about that too. And Jalen Green out for Phoenix here. But this total dropping big time here. All right. Yeah, Tex, I think it's a hamstring there with Zion. Let me see what the official designation there was. Hamstring out. So he's only played 5 games so far right now. Has Zion here sitting out here with this injury. This will be the 4th straight game that Zion's missed. He's supposed to look all good, but they said he's going to miss a week here, 7 to 10 days. So that hurts. That hurts that hurts that defense here. That allows a guy like even Mark Williams to maybe even get over his totals for once. There's definitely some issues, scoring issues with that Phoenix front court here with Ryan Dunn. He's kind of going down, but you got Booker and Grayson. They can light it up a little bit. All right, that's enough of that game there. We're almost done here. Next up, got the Timberwolves taking on the Jazz. Timberwolves are favored here by 7.5. It's going up 7.5, and the total 234.5. Why not? Minnesota won 2 straight. They're definitely on an upward trend. Meanwhile, Utah, they were just out on the road, so they didn't find the road to their liking, that's for sure. Dropping, I think, 4 and 5. Only game they won was that game at Boston. Other than that, they were pretty much blown out of every other game. But they're back home here against the Minnesota team. Minnesota does have their number for sure, and Minnesota is definitely playing well. Although Utah is 3-0 against the spread at home so far this season. But in this series between these two, semi-frequent opponents here, Minnesota has covered 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams. Still, Utah does play a little bit better at home. They've actually won 2 of their 3 home games. Minnesota just 6-2 straight up as a favorite, but just 4-4 against the spread. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but Minnesota's been a big time over so far this season. They're 8-2 to the over, 5-1 to the over at home. Even though Utah has gone 4-5 to the under, including 3-4 to the under as an underdog, they are 3-0 to the over at home. They can keep up here scoring. I think they can cover here tonight against Minnesota. I'm taking Utah. Walker Kessler, we know we lost him for the rest of the season here right now. That was a big blow, but this is factored in. So I'm going to be on the Jazz here in this one. I'll do it. I'll take the Jazz against these Wolves here right now. I think we're putting the Wolves back in the category of a total contender in the Western Conference, right? They've got some limitations here. Probably better than Utah. They can defense these guys, especially the top player. I will say this: the top players, according to the metrics I use, the top players on Utah just happen to be the best areas that Minnesota kind of defends. But still, I'm taking Utah here. Okay, take Utah plus the points. Minnesota played last night, says Greg. There it is. Let me see. Whoops. At Sacktown, huh? That's not a far. That's about as short a trip as you can get, but all right. Maybe the Wolves early first quarter there or what? Utah might beat them. Don't be surprised if Utah wins, says Greg. Tex was on Utah. Robert likes the under. And could Ja be headed to New Orleans, says Terrell. Terrell gets these trades right sometimes. All right, I'm going to take the Jazz. The Jazz hands. And the Atlanta Hawks will take on the Clippers here tonight. Boy, the Clippers, man, my Clippers, what a laughing stock all of a sudden. 4 straight losses, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. Yeah, they have enough talent that they'll win some games, but really once the talent starts to realize that this season is already slipping away, they're going to want to miss all the rest of the games. It's just going to put this team in a shambles this season. They're already the worst spread team in the league at 1-8 ATS coming in, 3-6 straight up overall. Atlanta, meanwhile, they are 5-5 straight up. 3-2 against the spread as an underdog so far this season, and why couldn't they hang in? The steam already came in this game on the Hawks, although it is currently 5 here. Thought it might be less than that, but wow. Total here down to 221.5. I mean, the Clippers already play kind of the lowest scoring games, it feels like, so far in the – not technically with the over-under, but it just seems like the totals are – granted, it doesn't have to be a total under every time. It can still go over, right? But, 221, that's the low total of the day here. That should say at least that. Atlanta's 1-4 to the under as a dog so far this season. The Clippers are 4-2 to the over at home, but I'm going under in this game between the Clippers and Atlanta. See if you see it the same way I do, but I'm going under. Atlanta's gone under in 6 of their last 9. Like I said, Clippers probably trending over here a little bit of late, although they did go both those games against Phoenix went under. I'm not comparing Atlanta to Phoenix here, but you look at those lineups a little bit. I'm going under in this one with Atlanta. And it's kind of like, Justin, it's kind of like WNBA, Atlanta and Phoenix. They were like the same team. I couldn't tell them apart. Maybe there's a little bit more difference between the Hawks and the Suns. Okay, let's get some picks maybe if you want here in the chat between Atlanta and the Clippers. My Clippers. It's going to be a bad year. You know what? I blame it on Ballmer, of course. You don't change, you're the Clippers, okay? You don't put a super yacht as the team's logo. A Clipper ship is like those big sails. I remember when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, man, I could draw the Clippers logo, the old Clippers logo, with the sails. It was so easy. I would just be like, oh, man, they had such a cool logo with the 3 sails and the basketball. And I'd be like, oh, there it is. Look at that. I could draw the Clippers logo in 2 seconds. But now they've got like a super yacht up there from Ballmer. Like, I can see him out there in Long Beach. Putting on a giant horn for, his big ego. All right. SF9 has got Tank for a touchdown. Hawks for Tariq. Hawks for Public Enemy. Greg Gibson, he's got Atlanta to win this game outright. And Sinner says the match to go 3 sets. Wow, SF9er, that would be incredible. if he could win a set. I can't wait for that match today. Justin says, remember that? They were like, I always got them backwards. Jordy on the Hawks. Robert going to lay the Clippers here. Look, I hope the Clippers can figure this out with this lineup. It's just that, my guy Kawhi, I mean, I can't sit here and always make excuses for him and everything like that. When he's great, he is still great, but he's got no cartilage in his knee, so it's not always a great deal. In fact, he's out, of course, tonight. Let me get the injuries straight here. He's missed a couple games here right now, right? How many has he missed? 3 in a row now. He was on fire, too. But I'm pretty sure he's out still with that ankle injury. And, man, I keep forgetting every day when we get to this point. And I see Kobe Sanders on the injured list, and I'm worried. And I'm like, why is he on the injured list here for so long? He doesn't have a season-ending injury or anything, does he? I mean, I know he's just a rookie. I can't even believe he made the Clippers. But it's great, and I hope he is a pro for a long time. But I want to see now. It just is bothering me that he's still just sitting out. He's ruled out. Okay, day-to-day, questionable, missed multiple games. He's still on a 2-way contract, so maybe he'll just get paid and that's it. I mean, he'll eventually end up here with the G League team in San Diego. He's from San Diego, so Clippers money line for Terrell. And Robert likes the under here with me. SF Niner loves that tank. He's also got Avia here, 25 over on his points prop. Okay, that's going to be for me. That's it for the NBA. I'm on the under in that one. Let's go to the ice right now with the Islanders taking on the Devils here in this one. Let's get things started with the Isles taking on the Devils. We got Sorokin here. Let me fire up the goalie computer, see if we got any changes here since we've been on the air. So the morning skates are concluding around the country. Yeah, sure. We've got news here in this one with Markstrom likely in goal. 4-2 with a 3.95 goals against, 87% save percentage for Ilya Sorokin. 4-2, 3 goals a game allowed, 89.5% save percentage here in this one. New Jersey's won 2 straight with wins over Pittsburgh and Montreal. The Islanders are coming in off a win over the Rangers, of course, 5-0 at the Rangers. And we'll get a chance to talk about them in a minute. New Jersey's been hot. They're 7-0 at home right now. 7-2 as a favorite, but won them all at home. Islanders are 5-3 on the puck line as a puck line dog. New Jersey 3-6 as a puck line favorite. Islanders have gone over in 8 of their last 10. New Jersey's gone under in 3 of 6 as a favorite coming in.
Steam play.
And we got some steam coming in, and it's for next week. Steam is coming in on the Bears and the Vikings over 46.5. Just goes to show you these games are moving right now on a Monday here. That total has gone from 46.5 up to 48.5 juice to the over. If you want to squeeze in there right now on some 47s, they're still out there, still some 46.5, but the Bears and the Vikings are moving to the over right now, 48.5 here on next Sunday. All right, you guys, let me have it here with the Isles and the Devils here in this one. Let me know what you guys are on here, and I'm going to make my call between these two. Here we go. You get your comments in the chat. Sorry about the delay here. SF9er. That's what I. You know what? You got the plus money honey. Is there a plus money poppy? Is that your name? Can I have that name? I want to be the plus money poppy. Is that? But I don't know. Is that dumb, or is that cool? I like that. Okay, New Jersey 7-0 plus money poppy. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, and somebody should have scooped that one up. I'm sure someone's using that name. All right, Robert's on the Islanders here. Timothy's on the Devils. All right. I got to make my call on this one. It's going to be we got another steam play from NFL next week. Houston and Tennessee. We are we're getting some steam here on the over in this one between Houston and Tennessee. 38 here right now in that one, and right now it is moving higher. We're seeing it up to 39 right now at Circa. This one's we're just getting in on it. This one, is it going to go to 40? With this sounds to me as if the news is going to come out today that CJ Stroud is going to play. That's obviously what it's going to be. Stroud will be in there. He's getting ready for practice this week. They're going to take him off the concussion list, and the total's going up right now because he will probably be playing this week. That would be my speculation on that move right there. That other game's already up to 48.5, by the way. Okay. All right. Hey, I got to make my call here in this one between the Islanders and the Devils. And I don't want to know if I'm having some Devils regret here, I think, in this one, but I got to go over. I'm going over. Man, you know what? The Devils, what's the price on the Devils? I know the Sharps are all over the Islanders. And in a situation like this where a Devils team undefeated at home, sometimes I'll side with the Sharps. I really think they're on the Islanders today. Look, the price is down here to 144 at the Sharp books, and it opened as high as one. The sendout was 180 at DraftKings, and now it's down to 144. It's moved 25 cents at DraftKings. So, I know, yes, Markstrom's in there. He hasn't been good, but he is still 4-2. I'm taking the over in this one. The Predators are taking on the Rangers, everybody. The Rangers are looking for their first win at home still. They're 0-6 so far this season. But, they're coming in here facing a Predators team that's 2-9 as an underdog so far this season. 1-3 as an underdog on the road. Rangers, they're 5-4-1 in their last 10 games overall. Rangers are 3-6 as a puck line favorite. Nashville 7-4 as a puck line dog coming in. Yeah, for the Rangers here right now, they are $1.80. The Predators are minus $1.75 on that puck line here right now. But man, I don't want to trust the Rangers here in this streak against anybody. Tonight's got to be the night, doesn't it? But we just won too many games going against the Rangers here. Maybe there is some funky thing going on here. I'll just take the Predators, even at minus $1.75. I'll take them on the puck line. I don't know what to do. I don't want to take a money line. I can do whatever I want. I'll lay $1.75, and maybe the Rangers probably should take a little sprinkle. Probably should take them on the money line, but I'm scared. I mean, the Predators, look, they're 5-8-4 so far right now, and they're not looking too great. Now, I will say this: Rangers are 5-11 to the under so far this season, 1-6 to the under at home. Nashville's 1-5 to the under on the road. That's why it's 5.5 for sure. They're these two teams. I mean, these two teams are under city. Got Igor likely in there against Juice Saros. 2.88 goals against. Igor, 2.4 goals against. Both goalies about a 91% save percentage so far this season. So Rangers, one thing, I mean, they are playing top 5 level defense right now in the league, I would say, right? Anybody disagree with me there? I got to think they're in the top of many defensive categories here this season. Top 5. Okay. Nuke says, right? I mean, you're going to continue eventually, right, Nuke? But, well, look, they're winning the road games, so it's kind of weird, right? It's not like they're an 0-10 team, so you'd think there's just some mental block, or what could it be? Greg's got it 3-2 tonight. Rangers money line, they won't go 0-40, 0-41, will they? Rangers will win 3-2. Nuke says you're laying 185. Well, I'm laying 175 puck line. So, look, guys, I try to keep it here either money line or puck line. I tried some -1s this season. Not that I won't do that privately, but on the show here, we try to have some fun, and I'm going to take a goal and a half. You got me giving out betting advice here. You might have the wrong guy. No, you got the right guy. I'm your man. Easy win for the Rangers. When I'm on a team, you can start to aim your bets towards that team. You can take a money line. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I've got a couple more on the ice here. Blue Jackets and Oilers, speaking of bad at home. Man, the Oilers, this just is just wild that they would come in here and give up 9 goals. They've lost 3 in a row. Fortunately, they're playing Columbus, who's also lost 3 in a row. But Edmonton now here, just 6-4. They are 4-1 at home. I mean, yes, they lost to Colorado yesterday, or I think it was actually a couple days ago, 9-1. But still, that was their first loss at home this season. Edmonton is 3-11 as a puck line favorite. Columbus is 8-3 as a puck line dog. Even this one might be tolerable at -$1.65 there. I think you'll get paid on both those prices anyway with Columbus. But Oilers do kind of, they own this. They own this series. That's for sure. Let me see what it is here. Columbus 1-5 in their last 6 on the road at Edmonton. They actually have won 5 of the last 7 in the series, so I stand corrected. But those were all that was mostly at home against these guys right now. 3-4 at home against them, so that's okay. Edmonton has won 5 of the last 6 here, is what I should be saying. Edmonton's gone over in 5 of their last 7 coming in. Columbus has been kind of an under team. 6-8 to the under, 4-6 to the under in their last 10, but they're 5-3 to the over at home. Edmonton's 5-2 to the over 5-3 to the over on the road for Columbus, 5-2 to the over at home for Edmonton. So I'm going to go over here in this one with this one's going to be 4-3, right? I think is that what Greg said? I'm going over. All right, and here's Justin on the over. Cash Kane on that, +1.5. Got to do what you got to do, right? Robert here on the over. How about McDavid? I mean, but man, he can't do it all. Can't play defense out there too with everybody. Got to take the Oilers 3-2, says Greg. Oilers puck line for Nuke says, they're going to win, and you want to get paid on this. And Greg says might be 4-2 Oilers. All righty. Thanks, you guys. One more. We've got the Panthers here on the road taking on the Golden Knights. Now, Golden Knights own this. Talk about owning this series. Golden Knights, of course, yeah, they own this series. Of course they do. Golden Knights have won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams here in Las Vegas. Florida's actually won 4 of the last 5, remember, but they won here back on October 25th, it was Vegas at Florida, and it was 3-0. Florida won that one. But Golden Knights here at home, they are 4-2 so far. Florida just 2-6 on the road. So, like we said, they're not totally Florida just yet. They've been battling these injuries kind of to kind of get the season started here. That's kind of been their big bugaboo. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Florida's actually 0-2 to the under as a dog so far this season, but Vegas is 8-2 to the over in their last 10. They're also 7-3 to the over as a favorite and 5-3 to the over at home. So maybe that does kind of shade the over here a little bit in this one. I think we got Bobrovsky going up against Schmidt here in this one tonight. And, yeah. All right. This one's my least favorite game, I think, of the night, but so I'm going to go over here in this one. It's juiced here to the under. So let me take the over in this one with Florida and Vegas. All right, you guys got a comment on that one? Let me know. Here we go. We've got rain. That was on the back on the Rangers game there. Public Enemy there on that. Okay, here's Robert on the Panthers. Public Enemy's on the Knights, and Greg says Panthers tonight. Get that road victory. I will say this: the steam came in on Vegas pretty much early. Some steam, not the big steam, I don't think, but it got moved. Vegas opened as low as $1.25, went up to as high as $1.48, and now the Florida money has kind of come back in offshore, it looks like to me. So still a pretty, Vegas at $1.35 at the sharp books, $1.45. They do have the better record slightly. Both teams have 7 wins, but Vegas plays kind of a more technical grind. They don't mind getting a tie and going into overtime. Florida, not so much, right? And they also win. Okay, so that's going to do it for the hockey. One steam move came in here in college basketball while I was talking, and it was in the game between it was Eastern Michigan. I took the steam here. Eastern Michigan plus 18 in their game here against Pitt. That's gone down. And right now the line is at 17. It might be 17.5. Not too big of a move, but Eastern Michigan did take that steam there against Pitt. Okay. I've got a few college basketball games. Man, this has been a great 2 hours with you guys. But let me see what I got here. I think I got like 6 games on tap here. Not all just the best, just some ones maybe I had a pick on too here with Columbia and Connecticut here. I took a look at this one. Not the biggest, the best game here so far, but I just want to go back and look at Connecticut here with Hurley, right? Because they played the New Haven Chargers in that first game, and it was just so interesting that they really didn't have either a great performance or were they just kind of taking it easy on little brother? Because after that, Connecticut answered back in a big way in their second game of the season by drubbing Lowell 110-47. So you see, I mean, look, New Haven, yeah, they're a little different than Lowell. I mean, maybe you talk about the real little brother, right? Lowell's probably the real little brother, but against New Haven, they only won by 24. They were laying 42.5. Against Lowell, they were favored by 36.5, and they won by 63 points. There's some college football steam coming in right now on Western Michigan plus 2.5. This is college football, mind you, and this game is tomorrow. Western Michigan is taking steam right now against Ohio. They were a 2.5-point dog, but now they're a 1.5-point dog. Western Michigan's taking that steam against Ohio U right now. So I just thought it was interesting that maybe they needed a game to get going. I don't know. Maybe they played lesser players in that first game a little bit against New Haven because New Haven's a new club, and they actually did have a good effort though last time out. Talk about New Haven, but still here could be obviously a possible blowout here for sure. One more college football game here, real quick, getting some steam. It's Michigan, you guys. Michigan on the road against Northwestern. They were a 10-point favorite. Circa's just moved to 11.5 on Michigan right now. Remember, this game, I believe, is this at Wrigley Field? Is this the Wrigley Field game, Michigan at Northwestern this week? Oh, I think, or is it at? Anyway. Michigan's moved to 11. I wasn't prepared for that, but Michigan's moved to 11 here right now. Let me know if you guys know that. Answer that. I'm not going to look it up. Okay, so anyways, Columbia and Connecticut here now for Columbia. They also played New Haven, okay? So Connecticut beat New Haven 79. I'm not saying let's compare, right? That would be unfair with this matchup. But Connecticut won by 24 over New Haven. Columbia won by 18 over New Haven, and they covered against New Haven. So could Columbia maybe cover against Connecticut because of that? Or is that just because of what I said? Maybe it wasn't as serious of a matchup in that game, right? All right. Let me see here. See if you guys like this one. I'm going to make my play here right now. Just got to close out some. I was definitely looking up the game there a little bit. But anyways, the steam did come in here in this one early on. But let's see. It opened 154.5 here, and now is currently still back on the football lines here. No wonder. I always do that. We were talking about the other day with the college football and basketball overlap. You're looking and you're like, why is that team, and even the most seasoned of veterans, why is that team favored by 15 point, So this one opened 31 up to 33 here coming into this one. So, all right. I'm on the over here in this one with Columbia and Connecticut. Give me the over here on the morning steam show. It's gone down to 155.5, but Columbia might get taken out. Okay. Nukes laying Hofstra over here against Malloy College. Take UConn to cover, says Greg. All right. I got a couple more here for you. I got Eastern Michigan taking on Pitt today. Eastern Michigan comes in 1-0 right now. And you know what? They took the steam, actually, in this game against Pitt. I think, did we just mention it there a short time ago? Eastern Michigan was an 18-point dog. But now, here in this one, that's gone down for sure. Pittsburgh is down to 17, maybe 17.5. So maybe it's about a 1-point move at most here. But Eastern Michigan did take the steam. And this one's down to 141 on some widely reported steam. This thing opened as high as 147.5. Wow. I'm taking Eastern Michigan here in this one. I totally blew this. I mean, I liked the under here in this one. It might have gone too far. So a lot of times what I do on these, talk about these steam games, if they've moved far like this, that usually means they're good to go. I've told you that the steam's coming in here at 63% so far. I think, is that what we said? We gave you the record there. 215 and 155? Is that what I said? I was going to run it through my brain, but Oh, God. Geez, this show's gone to the rails here all of a sudden. I don't even know how to work a calculator anymore. They just don't make them like they used to. 67.9%. Wow, 67.9% for the Steam so far. So a lot of times when these games are moving like 4 or 5 points in basketball, I'll just take two of them together and tease them. And they say, don't play basketball teasers. Well, when I've got two hot moves like that on totals and I've missed by 5 points, and I don't want to go the other way when the Steam's clicking in at 57.9%. I'm going to tie two of them up and I might tease them. That's kind of what I've done on a few occasions here. All right, so in this one's gone down big time, but I'm going to take Eastern Michigan here. Oh, let me at least talk about the teams a little bit. Try to give them some respect here. Eastern Michigan comes in 1-0. They beat Georgia State 71-49. Really held them down there defensively. Pitt is off of wins over Youngstown and Long Island. They covered them both, including beating Long Island by 18 as a 13.5 point favorite. Both teams have gone under in all three of their games so far this season. That Steam came in big time on the under here, down to 141.5. Pitt won't cover. Oh, I think he's talking about that football game now. Talked about Pittsburgh basketball, then Pittsburgh football. Basketball. All right, Mississippi State. They're taking on Iowa State here. This one's being played in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so still kind of an Iowa State home game there a little bit. But you got Mississippi State here. They're going to be an underdog in this one by 5. And the choice up to 5.5 here now. And the total might be down to 150 here in this one. The Bulldogs come in 1-0 so far this season. Iowa State comes in here 2-0. Mississippi State did not cover the spread against North Alabama. They were favored by 24.5. They won by 24. For Iowa State, they won and covered both. They were favored by 37 over Fairleigh Dickinson. They covered that one by a point or two, by half a point actually. And then they were favored by 33.5 over Grambling, and they won by 40. So yeah, they know how to cover a spread. Can they cover this one? Favored here by 5 now, 5.5. I think it's 5.5 for sure here right now between these two teams. Let's see if you like this one though. I think this is kind of the featured game of the day here. All right, and for me in this one, I'm going to go under here. Mississippi State went under in their first game. I'm going to take it under 150. I think it's gone down here at about 150. So I'm taking the under with Mississippi State and Iowa State. Iowa State for Justin. And Greg says, I think he's got Iowa State there. And maybe, yeah. All right, how about Little Rock taking on Milwaukee in this one? You got Little Rock coming in here 1-0. Milwaukee, I got them at 1-1 right now, but they are 0-2 against the spread. Milwaukee lost to Wofford 86-76. They beat Hampton, but they didn't cover as a 4-point favorite. So a little bit tricky here. Milwaukee maybe not looking great. We'll see. For Little Rock, they played, I think they beat, was it Abilene? I got to look it up now. Can't read my writing. Arkansas Baptist. Okay. Kind of, I put AB, AB like I'm going to remember. Usually for Abilene Christian, I put ACU. So I should have known that. I put AB, Arkansas Baptist, like I'm going to know. So 92-63. So for Little Rock, really their first game. That was an official victory there, but first Division I game here of this season for Little Rock. So we'll see here. But like I said, Milwaukee so far has failed to cover them both. And not only that, Milwaukee is 2-0 to the over in those two games. Maybe there was a struggle defensively here, but I don't know. But I'm going to take Milwaukee here to roll in this one. I got to like Milwaukee here. They may that total's pretty high, man. 150. It's not 158. It's gone down, right? Oh, it's still 158. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take Milwaukee here, but boy, I like this total. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna be a premium somewhere on this one. I'll take Milwaukee here on the show. Milwaukee for Justin here. Greg says take Milwaukee. Greg's got Milwaukee. Okay, let me see. Do I got another one? I got a couple more. This one, this is the featured game of the night right here. We already talked about it, Santa Clara and Xavier, right? I said I have to take Xavier because the line already went up. It's up to 4.5. I'm on Xavier here. Just tell you a little bit right now. Both teams coming in here 2-0 right now. Santa Clara with wins over UAB and McNeese. They didn't cover against UAB, laying 6.5. They lost that. Wait a minute. No, they played McNeese. I'm looking at the. I got to go back. I got to go to Ken Palm here. I screwed up my notes on this one. Santa Clara, they played a non-division one opponent, I think, in the first game. They played Humboldt. Yeah, we already talked about that. So Santa Clara played Cal Poly Humboldt for their first win. So technically, they are just 1-0 against the spread. Meanwhile, Xavier's 0-2 against the spread, despite a couple of wins. They beat Lemoyne by 5 as a 24.5-point favorite. They beat Marist by 4 as a 12.5-point favorite. That's not that good. They have failed to cover double digits at home in those first two games. Here they are at home against a pretty good opponent in Santa Clara right now. I'm on Xavier here, but it is a little bit. That's a little bit of a troubling timeline for sure. I'll admit to that. I might be just playing my numbers here right now. If I lose this one, we'll just have to adjust them here. I mean, I always liked Xavier at home. All right. I think that's it for that one. You guys might be on Santa Clara now, the way I talked about it. That's right. And let me fix it, though, Greg. You said spread too low, but I got to admit, it is up to 4.5 here. I was on another show talking about this game, and I said I like the over, but I'll tell you what, the Steam came in on the under, like I told you guys earlier on the show, and we'll see. Sometimes I say good luck. Like I think I know I'm right. This one, I don't know. It might be more so under than I'm giving it credit for. If I whiff on this game, you got to adjust the power rankings, Ramon. All right, there it is. Xavier. Oh, what? I thought I fixed it. There it is. Xavier 4.5. There it is. All right, one more. Look at this. The St. Thomas Tommies are favored here on the road at Washington State. St. Thomas took the Steam. The Steam came in on the under as well. It's now 1.5 here for St. Thomas. Oh, is it? Oh, wait a minute. Washington State might have moved back to the favorite here. Oh, wow. Okay. Dang. Is somebody out? I thought I was being tricky here. Okay, Washington State's moving back to the favorite. I like St. Thomas. When the Steam came in on St. Thomas, I felt confident. I was like, oh wow. Not that hey, you think you're right, you're right, or whatever. You're just like, hey, I know this. Let me make sure that I got it right. I want to go look at the list of Steam here. Yeah. Yeah, the Steam. I'm on the Tommies here. I might be missing something, but they look pretty good. I know they're 1-1 so far. What was that loss? Let me see here. They lost to St. Mary's, right? 88-84. Remember 84-58. Okay, 84-58. They lost that game to St. Mary's. Man, I really do have good penmanship, but anyways, both teams come in 0-2 against the spread so far. St. Thomas beat Army. They did not cover. Washington State failed to cover against Idaho and Dayton so far. They lost both those games. So I wanted St. Thomas. I might have screwed up the narrative here a little bit, but I'm taking them today. I'm taking them tonight. All right, Greg says somebody take Washington State unless somebody's out. Washington State keeps a good team. Washington State, are they going to the West Coast Conference, or what conference are they going to? Are they moving to the Pac-12? The Pac-2? Still missed the opportunity when Washington State played Oregon State to say, welcome to the Pac-2 championship. I guess that's it for the morning steam, everybody. I want to thank everyone here for joining me today. And it was great to have you here for a couple of hours talking sports and sports betting with you guys. Join Mikey Money today at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific with pre-gaming. Mikey gets you ready for the primetime action, including Monday Night Football between his Eagles and Razors Packers. But Razor's on vacation this week, so hey, we're not going on without Razor. I mean, that's an exclusive show, right? You got it's about Razor and us together, so we're not going to go on without Razor here over a couple of days. Razor on vacation, so just enjoy the game tonight. They didn't want me celebrating on the air there yesterday with the Chargers beating up the Steelers, and then Razor and Mike would be yelling tonight with the Eagles and the Packers. Save that for the next playoff game. So anyways, type in something in the chat if you want to be in the drawing, and don't forget, join the crew here from Sports Money over at winnable.com. You can get my best plays today and every day over at winnable.com/Ramon. You can have a nice package of plays in college basketball today. Try to keep the winning going here. This is when you want to be subscribing to me this day when we have the high volume. It's tough to look at all these college basketball games. I use a lot of computer work, actually. I come on here with some narratives, give you some free picks, hopefully some free winners, but then you got to get down to business and wait close to game time, right? And see those, who's in, who's out. But college also, you got to take a little extra time to look at that whole card. We got a whole big card. So go ahead and check me out over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM to save 15%.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, here we go with the contest here today. Who's going to win who can stand it? Get my plays for free if you win this contest. It's going to be Terrell, of course. Terrell, I'll give you another month. Terrell always wins anyways. That just goes to show how loyal he is to the show. It's not just to me, it's to everybody in the chat, making the plays, forming a community. Thanks a lot for everything, Terrell. Thanks a lot for everything, everybody. We're going to be back here. I'm deleting that haunted house background for sure. Goodbye, haunted house background. Be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. More morning steam. We'll get you ready for the Tuesday card, including some action football, NBA, NHL, college basketball. All right, it's going to do it. Have a great day, everybody. And thanks for joining me here on the show. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
It's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.